All right, it is go time. Welcome everyone to another episode of Akashic Answers with Emily. One final attunement of the vessel here, and you know how it goes. The records are now open. Come on in. Please say hello to me once you get here. In this video, what you can expect is to experience some live. Vivian, Kate, what are you doing here? Hi, Viv. You're supposed to be in school. Wow, that threw me off here. I've never seen you join live before. I'm gonna have to do a take two. Wait, I gotta do a special wave to my daughter. You guys, if you're just popping on, my daughter joined live. She's supposed to be in school and she's here. So everybody say hello to Viv. She says, I'm in choir. And hold space for this girl. She has a huge choir audition today, and girl sings like Barbara Streisand. She doesn't get it from me, is all I can say. But Vivi, you are amazing, and I love you very much, and I'm proud of you, and I know that you are going to rock your audition today. All right, back to the show. I am really happy to be here with you all. Thank you for saying hello to each other once you get in here. Joe Fox says hello to you, by the way, Vivi. In this episode, what we're going to do is I'm going to channel for you from your Akashic Records and bring forward an activation, a transmission from this quantum space that is going to activate your DNA and help you embody the changes that you want to make in your life. All right, so get ready for some excellence happening up in here today. Those of you who are saying hello, thank you very much. I love to know where you are all tuning in from. So once you get here, let me know. And when you see these locations coming in the comments, let's start the first activation right now, and that is to imagine in your mind all of these different pinpoints of light all over the globe lighting up. Because what we are doing is we are creating a network of consciousness where we can share intelligence, we can share upgrades, we become far more powerful. We're all one anyway, but this just brings us into an awareness of how we are truly connected. I see Paul here from Ontario. I see Nirma from the Netherlands, and Amona coming in from Austria, Pennsylvania, the UK, Connecticut. Hey, it's Peter in the house. I see you, Peter. I'm Emily Harrison. If this is the first time you are tuning in, and I'm coming to you here from the High Sierras in Reno, Nevada. I am the founder director here inside the Akashic Academy. And I work with visionaries and thought leaders who are ready to escape the world of ordinary thought and tap into their superconscious intelligence. Why do we want to tap into the Akashic Records? There are a lot of reasons. I'm going to give you two main reasons today. One, because humans have the ability to self-heal, and we have given away that power. We've given away that power to vices, and I'm not going to give the pharmaceutical company too bad of a rap, because I have 3 kids. Just one of them's tuning in live. The other one is in there on the couch right now because he's been sick and needed to take some antibiotics. So we don't normally do antibiotics in this house unless they're really needed. But when they are needed, I'm really happy for Western medicine. So I don't want to totally be a downer on Western medicine, but we are definitely over medicated in terms of pharmaceuticals in this country, in this world even. And we're also not just physically ill, we're emotionally ill, we're mentally ill. All of us, me too. I'm in here with you. I'm not separating myself from you. I use the Akashic Records on a daily basis to help me understand how I can course correct in my life to hold optimum health. All right, so we have this ability to live in pristine health. The other thing that I want to really inspire you around today is a level of stupidity, okay, people? We have access to extraordinary genius. Every single one of you tuning in right now, I just want to thank you. I want you to honor yourself for a moment, because every person on this planet has super conscious intelligence, unique genius, unique legacy and creativity to leave here on the planet. And we're not doing it. We are living such a dumbed down, limited version of what we came to this planet to do. And I'm ready to bring freedom back. If you're ready to bring freedom back, type freedom for me in the comments. You all might not know this about me. You might have just heard the y'all that came out of my mouth, so you might be getting some clues. I grew up in really small town Missouri in the Midwest. I actually see one of my friends from that small town. Jason, I see you here, that grew up in that really small town with me. And yeah, Freedom, I see you, Leah. I see you, Ray. I see you, Lisa. I see you, Ann. Yes. I see you, Shell Baby, from that small town that I'm talking about. I see you, Paul. Yes, Freedom. So this small town that I grew up in, Louisiana, Missouri, the Underground Railroads ran through the town. And I was fascinated with this as a little kid. If you have forgotten that part of our history, the Underground Railroads are where enslaved humans back in the time of slavery in this country were led to their freedom. And I get a tinge of emotion every time I tell this story, because Leah, I see you, during my Akashic Record training, I discovered a past life of leading people through those tunnels into their freedom. And I feel like I am living a reincarnation, a version of that same life in this lifetime here. So thank you for being a part of my mission, for claiming your freedom. We are going to get started with questions. If you are a regular here, go ahead and get your questions typed in. If you are a newbie, I want you to listen up quickly, because here's what you need to know about the Akashic Records. First of all, the records are the realm of consciousness where all data, past, present, all possible futures, has been stored from a neutral perspective. The records work by invitation only, which doesn't mean only certain ones of you are invited. Everybody is invited. Truthfully, every single person can read their Akashic Records. It's what I love to do, is to train you how to read your Akashic Records. I'm going to make it easy. I'm going to do it for you today. Although I do want you to know that as I'm channeling through the questions you have, you are going to be getting intelligence as well. So notice what comes into your mind, because truthfully, it's more important what drops into your field than what I tell you. Okay. So the records work by invitation only, which is why I'm telling you to ask questions. You must ask questions or invite forward the intelligence that you're looking for. Now, I'm going to get to about 3 questions live here on the show today. I'm going to channel in intelligence. I'm going to then bring through an activation or a transmission from the Akashic Records to help you embody the intelligence, which, by the way, the questions are for everyone. I see Anne asking and Nirma asking, my girls here in the field. Light up that chat box with your questions, because the questions are for everyone. I want you to know that if you feel like I'm answering someone else's question, but it's ringing and dinging and buzzing inside of you, you're noticing some aha moments, that answer is for you too. We're all here. We're all one. This is designed for all of us. Now, I'm not going to get to every single question that comes in today, but I do want you to know that if you ask, the promise of this work is that the intelligence will come forward for you. Maybe you'll get an aha moment, as sometimes I call it preaching all up in here, as I'm preaching to you up in here. Maybe you will have a conversation with a friend. Maybe you will have a dream. Maybe you will stumble onto a video where the answer comes to you. Maybe in meditation it comes to you. But the promise of this work is, if you ask, you shall receive. So light up that chat box with the questions. Before we get started, this will give you a couple more minutes just to light up that chat box. Shout out to Rhonda Elliott. It's her birthday today, and I want to share with you all a really special opportunity to train with me inside the membership program known as the Ether. Now, if you are tuning in on any of our StreamYard locations, that would not be Instagram, but any of the StreamYard locations, you'll see that I just put that Ether link for you in the comments. You can go back and easily find it and check this out. Inside the Ether, what happens is you get specialized training with me, channeled from the Akashic Records. Right now, we're working on the 7 Hermetic Principles. These are cosmic principles of mastery that are game changers. If you're wondering why your manifestation or your law of attraction isn't working, this will tell you why and get you back into a frequency where you can hold the frequency of miracle consciousness. This is why we created the Ether, so you can learn to hold a higher vibrational frequency. So you get specialized training. The next training is happening on Monday. You can watch that live or you can get the replay. The other aspect of the Ether that I built out of my own need for daily support is that you will get a daily text reminder that will give you a little task to do, something to think about, some breath practices, something that will help you unplug from the 3D or from the monotony or from where you have lost access to your consciousness and you're roboting through your day, going into a downward spiral of stress. And you'll get this text message at the perfect time, which will remind you to unplug from that 3D and tap into higher frequency, to remember your vision. Really helpful in manifestation when you can unplug and remember your vision. And then the third aspect of the ether is spiritual community. If you are not currently in a spiritual community, you are not growing as fast as you could. You are not gaining the vibrational frequency of the group, which helps you learn and change your life even faster. And the investment for this monthly membership is only $22.22. It will be the best skip Starbucks for 2 days of the week that you have ever spent. And I look forward to getting to know you inside of that group. So we are becoming a tight knit to help raise each other, call forward intelligence and creativity in each other, and really change the planet. All right, I'm diving in now to some questions. Ooh, good one. Peter says, how does free will work with the Akashic Records? I love this question because I recently got some downloads that I'm still contemplating. I'm still unraveling exactly how they work, but I'm going to share that with you in the answer, the intelligence is coming in. I just want to center myself though and tap into the space of superconscious intelligence and make sure that I'm speaking what the guides want to bring through today and not what Emily's previous understanding of this is. All right. So the records work. Take two. Lots of information coming, Peter. So when it comes to free will, the records are a recording of all information forward and backward through time. And the future is recorded in infinite possibility, meaning every different timeline, possibility, parallel life, parallel universe, all of those possibilities are recorded. You could look at this as a mathematical matrix. And so that's what creates the room for our free will, is that all possibilities are, I want to use a different word besides recorded because I've used it like 10 times, but I can't think of a better one. So you're just going to get that word over and over again until I think of something better. But the idea of it being recorded, or there is a record, which is why it's called the Akashic Record. Okay. So the future is recorded in infinite possibility. And so when it comes to manifestation, the guides want to share with Peter and all of you that infinite possibility is available to you. And if you look at it as like rings outward, the farthest ring out would be infinite possibility. And then the more you give your attention or awareness to something, it consecrates that vibrational frequency. So it's like the frequency gets stronger. And so that those different possibilities move from infinite possibility into the next ring closer to you. I'm vibrating my hands for the sake of vibration, but it's a little hard to watch, isn't it? I'll try to keep those puppies still. Okay. Infinite possibility into probability. So the more you think about something, the more you visualize it through your third eye, the more you learn to hold the vibrational frequency that is a match to what you want, you move from infinite possibility into probability, and then you rinse and repeat. You do the same thing again, and you consecrate that vibration and you move it into what becomes our reality, our physical reality. Okay? So if there is something that you are wanting to manifest or create or pull from the field of infinite possibility, you must become a vibrational match to that thing, but you get to choose anything that you want to become a vibrational match to. And this is why it's so important, the guides are saying, that we really examine our thoughts, because we have tens of thousands of thoughts per day that are happening on the subconscious level, which means we don't even realize that we're thinking them. So let's say that you want to manifest $1 million, but the thoughts that are going through your mind are stress about money, are feeling like maybe you feel fear that everybody wants something from you. Maybe you have attained a certain amount of money and success and wealth in your life already. And maybe it doesn't feel as comfortable as you thought it did because you've got this person coming to you asking for money, or this person wanting an investment here, or maybe you're spending at your maximum limits. And so having that amount of resource come in doesn't actually feel comfortable because you have just as much going out as you have coming in. That's not holding the vibrational frequency of, oh, what I asked for is here and available for me in the field. So when you want to manifest, you've got to make sure that you have got the thoughts in check. You've got to bring all of those subconscious thoughts, which that takes discipline and work. You've got to meditate. You want to join a community like the ether that helps keep you present to your thoughts, because we go into default mode thinking old loops and patterns constantly. And that's where our free will comes in. You're free to think and create whatever you want to create in life. The challenge is that because we haven't been indoctrinated into a culture that values meditation and self-examination and self-expression, most of us are working on default, the programming of our parents and previous generations. And that's our free will, our free right to do. But it's also our free will and our free right to choose anything that we want to experience that would be valuable to us in this life. And if you can visualize it, there is one of those different planes of existence, one of those infinite possibilities, one of those timelines where what you are picturing is happening. You're actually not imagining it. You're astral traveling into that future possibility where you're seeing it. Okay. Send some love, likes, hearts across the screen. Blow up the algorithms for me if this is helpful and supportive to you. If you really want to be a teacher's pet, you can share this out. The more of us that come into study and training like this together, the faster we raise our vibrational frequency and our ability to change the world, which happens from in here, by the way. Thank you for blowing up those fires, whoever's sending those through on Instagram. I appreciate you all. We're going to get to the activation in one moment. I want to touch on the download that came in that I haven't fully unpacked yet, which the guides shared with me recently, that not only does our future exist in infinite possibility, but our past exists in infinite possibility as well. And again, I don't know exactly what all of that means yet, but what I do know is that when we shift our consciousness back in time to a place where we have a traumatic memory, where we've taken on trauma or pain, and we bring in light or healing to that past, we are in essence shifting the past. How many of you have heard of the Mandela effect, which is where we remember the past differently? Ooh, I just got chills in my body. Something going on there. My clairsentience going off. As we, more and more of us, do work to shift our past trauma, we are the ones who are creating the Mandela effect. Mandala is sacred geometry. The Mandela effect is named from Nelson Mandela, who some of us remember dying in jail and some of us remember being released from jail. And that's just one example of different collective memories that we're having. But again, that one's not fully unpacked yet. I'll drop that one into your field so you can think about that. Think about what that means for you. Thank you, Peter. Everybody, thank Peter for that awesome question. And the guides want to bring in an activation now that will help you be more sovereign in your free will, in your right to choose what it is that you want to experience. Because many of us are operating on subconscious programs that have been passed down from generation to generation to generation. Grandparents, parents, to us. And they're not really what we choose. They are not in alignment with what our heart's desire is. And so the guides want to bring in an activation that will awaken your DNA and help you see the difference between where you've been programmed and what you really want to experience, what you really want to create with your thoughts. For many of you, this is going to look like new possibilities dropping into your field. Maybe they come in ideas. I remember when I broke free from the subconscious generational patterning that happened to me growing up in a really small town. I was at a stoplight driving home from Mizzou, from campus. I lived off campus. And driving, I had gone into a bit of a daze. I was using different brain waves. And then at the stoplight, I had this color. And when we're talking about getting downloads and having shifts and activation, it's really simple. It's sound, it's thought, it's color, it's shape. And so I had this experience of color going into my eyes from the stoplight. And I had this aha moment that if I didn't want to continue down the path that I was in college, because y'all, at this point, it's a miracle I was driving home from class. I was a really smart girl, but I was skipping more classes than I was attending because I did not like being shoved into this box lifestyle. My soul was fighting against it. Got my first D ever in calculus because I skipped more classes than I attended. But I had this realization that if I didn't like the life I was creating, I could create something different. And I created something hugely different. In that moment, it made sense to me. I'm quitting school and I'm moving to Hollywood to become an actress. And that's exactly what I did. Within months of that moment, I was in Los Angeles at my first audition. So notice these new ideas that come in after this activation. All right, so the guides want to do some tapping on the heart. This tapping is going to release the generational programs. And then tapping on the third eye, and I want you to synchronize your taps. The third eye is awakening greater vision so that you can see these programs and recognize them when they come up. The tapping is releasing them. And the tapping of the heart is releasing them. The tapping of the third eye is awakening your vision to recognizing them. Nice deep breath, tapping for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. All right, so now you want to be on the lookout for new ideas, new possibilities. You might actually get a new opportunity, like a new job opportunity or an opportunity to travel. Some of you will get physical opportunities. Some of you will get new ideas, but they're all opportunities. All right, if that served you, send me your favorite emoji in the chat box. And let's get to another question here. All right, Taylor LeShannon Wicks asks, how can I learn to ground myself better in the full moons? This one is hitting hard today. Woo, I heard that. Taylor, first of all, just know that you're not alone. I have 7-figure clients that I work with okay, so my mom let me know she's not here today and I could say as many bad words as I wanted to. Shit gets turned upside down during the full moons. If you feel like you get hit hard by the full moons, let me know. Give me a hand up in the emoji, a high five. Somewhere, let me know. So if you notice that the full moon can knock you a little cuckoo, first thing I want you to do, the guides are saying, is tap in and put on your calendar when the full and the new moons are happening so they don't sneak up on you. Because just knowing that they're coming, that's one thing that will really be helpful, is having an awareness that they're coming. So a lot of times what happens is we are affected by these energies, but we forget that there's this cosmic alignment or celestial activity that's contributing to us feeling a bit wonky. And so we end up thinking that we're crazy, or we end up thinking that well, here I've made a really bad decision again and I'm caught in this loop in this relationship, or here I am again. And nope, you get to release yourself from it if you know it's coming. It's like women and our moon cycles when you are menstruating or you have PMS, or if you don't chart your cycle, women, that can sneak up on you and you can begin to feel really out of sorts, crazy. Why am I such a bad mom, always yelling at my kids? And what's really happening is that you are ignorant of your own energy or of your own cycles. Okay, so that's the first thing that the guides are saying is put them on your calendar. The next thing I'll say, I'm going to give a shout out to one of my previous clients and students, also a colleague and a dear friend, Kara Melindy. Every single week, she does an astrology report, and especially for new and full moons. Kara Melindy shares these on YouTube, and that will give you an awareness of what the cosmic energy is coming in. If you're just joining on Instagram, by the way, I want to let you know the question we're working with right now is how to become more grounded during full moons, because this one is hitting particularly hard today. If you know what energies are at play, because every different full moon has its own celestial signature based on which bodies, meaning obviously they're the sun and the moon, duh. But there are other planetary alignments and alignments to certain constellations that create an energy signature for what it is we're being invited to release. So if the more awareness you have, the less crazy you are going to feel during these times. The other thing that I hear the guides talking about right now is if you are challenged to ground yourself during full moons, eat root vegetables. Anything grown in the ground, beets, carrots, celery, potatoes, these kind of vegetables, and you want to make sure that they're organic. These kind of vegetables are going to help attune your energy field. And we talked in the very beginning of this broadcast about why do you even want to learn to read your Akashic Records anyway? Why are the Akashic Records so important? And one of the biggest things I talked about was self-healing and how over-medicated we are in this modern day society. Food is medicine. Nutrition is medicine. You are an alchemist. Alchemy is being a magician, by the way. One of the great overseers here at the Akashic Academy is the lineage of Melchizedek. That is the lineage of the great magician in the mystery school. Saint Germain is another one that's here. How many of you are familiar with alchemy? Type alchemy in the comments for me if you're familiar with alchemy or excited about alchemy. Your body is alchemizing food on the daily. How about that? You are an alchemist. You are a magician. And for most of us, it's happening subconsciously or below our awareness. If you want to bring your magicianship into consciousness, reach out to me. There are repeatable methodologies and ways to study and learn and practice where you can get really, really good at this. The idea of alchemy or being a magician is turning something that is corruptible or in a very dense state, transforming it into something that is stable or that is of a high vibrational frequency. You may think of turning lead into gold. Taylor, I love that this conversation of becoming more grounded has led into the idea of magicianship and alchemy. That's another thing that your guides really want you to study, Taylor, is alchemy. Learn what's happening and what's going on so that you are mastering the different phases of what you're moving through rather than letting the phase master you. There are phases in alchemy. Phase number one is known as calcination. Basically, it means shit just blew up in your face. Since I remembered my mom's not here, I said shit twice. Don't tell her. Although she's going to watch the replay. She always does. Stage one of alchemy is calcination. Things blow up. But remember, we don't have to freak out at this point in time. Lives are transmuted by fire. This is great news if you know how to work with it. You're going to get excited and be like, all right, yeah, here comes the change. But if you don't recognize that whatever just blew up in your face is part of a shift that you've been calling in. What happens is that you run from the fire. And we've got to stop running from the fire. We've got to start to know how to work with this energy in a powerful way. All right, so the guides want to do, I feel Melchizedek coming in. Melchizedek is a powerful guide, by the way. Melchizedek wanting to do an activation for us today to help us tap into our ability to alchemize any situation in our life. Type alchemy for me in the comments. I know I already asked for those of you who are into alchemy to type it, but if you want to receive this activation, type alchemy in the comments right now. That's giving your permission to receive this transmission. All right, the guides are going to do it with the left and right palm. Okay, so holding the hands up. Let's put both of the hands a little closer so I can see them. Instagram people can see them both in the frame. All right, starting with the left hand, imagine fire in the left palm, the violet flame fire. This flame does not burn you. And now with your imagination, growing that fire, growing it, growing it, growing it. Maybe the flame is so big now it encompasses your entire being. The violet flame is the same energy as Moses in the burning bush, by the way. And the burning bush was an acacia bush, spelled Akasha, but pronounced acacia. And this is the great I am that I am energy. Yes, feel that moving through the body. Now feel that flame moving through the body, and it's going to emerge here in this side in the right hand. So feel the flame getting smaller, 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 and now palm-sized in the right hand. Notice any tingles or any energy moving in the body. Great work. Bringing the palms together now. Right on top of left. Holding the violet flame energy in both hands. And when you're ready, bringing that into the heart. Ooh, good work. Feel it. Yeah, let's give Taylor a hand, everybody. That was a fantastic conversation. Type in the comments what you learned from that bit of the conversation right there. What dropped in? What was alive in your field? Let me know. All right, I'm going to scroll through Instagram here and take one question from Instagram. Paul James Young says, as I feel the ancient trees calling me, will I join them in the flesh? Very poetic, Paul. I dig it. All right, so let's talk about trees and the wisdom held within the trees. Okay, what I'm hearing right now is that there have been many of you, and Paul, I think you might be one of them. Yes, I'm getting that indication now, that have been trees in a past life. And so, oh yeah, all right. So trees hold so much wisdom. I had a great friend and colleague of mine who was such a lover of trees and the wisdom that was held within every tree. I mean, imagine the trees outside where you are. Maybe you have new trees. Maybe you have trees that have been there for hundreds of years. Think about what these trees have seen in terms of the transformation of the planet. The guides are, Lisa saying, yep, loves trees so much. We all have, I've never actually heard this before too. We all have an innate, very strong connection to trees being here on the planet. It's almost like our bodies are modeled after a tree in some way. And I'm just telling you what I'm hearing coming through right now. What I do know, and I've heard the records say before, is that our bodies are a holographic representation of Mother Earth. They are a holographic representation of the pyramid. I've never heard them as a holographic representation of a tree before, but let's go with it. All right, so the guides want us each to have an experience right now, tapping into a reincarnation or a version of ourselves that has been a tree before. Lisa says trees are symbolic of fractals. Okay, and fractals, these are repeating patterns that create everything that we experience here on the planet. I want to bring this back to the training that's happening inside of the ether. And I talked to you guys about specialized training, and right now that training is in the 7 Hermetic Principles. The principle that I will be training you on Monday is the principle of correspondence, which says as above, so below. And when you think of a tree as above, oh, it's getting chills everywhere. When you think about the breadth and width of the branches and the trees and the leaves, the roots underneath are the same, spreading out underneath. So as above, so below. So we've got this beautiful holographic representation of the principle of correspondence happening right here on our planet at all times. Okay, so the guides want to activate us to our connection to trees. And, ooh, this is good. Some of you might live in the city where there aren't a lot of trees around you. I'm going to invite you to get out of the city. Actually, it's not me. It's your guides telling you what to do. They're saying, get your ass out now. But go out, either go to an arboretum, go out to a forest nearby, maybe go to Central Park where there's some trees. But the trees hold wisdom, message, and activation for us all. So in addition to the activation of tapping into ourselves as a tree in a past life or in a future life or in a parallel life. Past and future don't really exist, by the way. It's a human construct. Past, present, future is a linear time construct that helps humans locate circumstances in the grid of the time-space continuum. Jennifer says, yes, the beautiful community between the trees and the fungi. Yes. And I think that's what a lot of this activation and conversation is really inviting us into, is this connection of oneness as well. Not just understanding correspondence, but the oneness. And feeling oneness with nature. Yes. Feeling that now. Okay. So let's get into this activation where we are going to experience ourselves activating our oneness with nature by experiencing yourself as a tree. And I just want you to close your eyes and just imagine yourself as a tree, knowing that your imagination is a gateway into the astral realms, into the quantum realms. It's not something you're making up. You actually can't make anything up. All you can do is assimilate knowledge and information. That's the ego, or the part of you that is separate from God, or that identifies yourself as separate from God. Your ego is telling you that you're making it up. You can't make anything up. So just go with this. Wherever your imagination takes you, trust that this is allowing you a real, visceral experience, becoming one with a tree. A lifetime when you were a tree, when this knowledge was innate within you. And I want you all to receive a message from the tree. Good. The message I just received was confirmation that one of my manifestations that I have been creating is coming. Receiving your message now. And deep breath, bringing the hands down. Come on back into the sacred classroom, and then I'll finish that sentence, the and. And the guides want you all to know that that activation was raising your vibrational frequency, so it's easier for you to see and experience the oneness that you have with all of nature, with each other. And as you do this, as you get better and better at perceiving this oneness, anything that you want to create or manifest will begin to materialize much faster for you, because you're already holding the vibrational frequency of that which you desire to create. So not only is this an activation of oneness, but the tangible results that happen when we hold a frequency of oneness is speed within our manifestations. Who's ready for a little speed with their manifestations? Let's speed this up already. Let's give a big thank you to Paul for activating us, helping to activate us with that amazing tree conversation. Woo, maybe that's making me a little dizzy. Talk about getting grounded, Taylor. I'm gonna have to eat some carrots after this before I go into being with my next client. Woo, great conversation today. Thank you all so much for being here. Again, if this has supported you, please take a moment to share this out. The more and more of us that come together in this sacred space, the faster we raise the vibrational frequency of the planet and we get free from the places where we've been oppressed, where we have imprisoned ourselves to our generational thought patterns. That's what we get to break free of today. Yes, Lisa, thank you for the wonderful questions and sacred transmissions. Aho, yes, thanking all of you out there. Thank you for trusting me to be a vessel, a channel of this energy, of this frequency. Once again, I want to invite you all to come train with me in a little more private space. We'll be in a Zoom room together when it comes to training inside of the ether. This membership program is only $22.22 a month. No obligations. If you find that it's not serving you, you don't have to stick around. Although I have a feeling that you are going to love it just as much as Ray and Anne and many of our ether guests. Jamie, our community inside the ether, is here. I think I gave a special shout out. Did I? I wanted to give a special shout out to Shelly P, Alice W, Malcolm M, and Marlena A, all who have joined the ether this week, who will be coming into that sacred family and activating with us within that space. Love to you all very much. Don't forget to share this out. Like and subscribe to. If you have not followed along on some social media platform, please stay connected so that we can do this again next week. And I'll see you back here next Wednesday.